Live from the Trailer Park with Elwood P. Jenkins is brought to you by supporters like you at Patreon.com.
Live from the Magnolia Blossom Trailer Park, I'm Elwood P. Jenkins, Trailer Park Romeo, transmission specialist, check magnet, and self-taught expert on a whole bunch of stuff. Well, howdy folks, y'all made it to podcast number 4. Congratulations. This is Live from the Trailer Park with Elwood P. Jenkins, and I'm Elwood. And yea, though I walk through the aisles of Wal-Mart, I will fear no evil, even though people are dressed weird. And a woman over there has got a mustache and beard. Is that guy walking around with a sock on his... And why don't we talk a little Wal-Mart today? They're everywhere. Heck, I was at the Wal-Mart the other day to get some stink bait and saw something that we all seen in Wal-Mart. There's a woman there yelling at her kids. Heck, that ain't no surprise. I'm surprised if I go into a Wal-Mart and there ain't some kid getting yelled at. Walmart's where you're supposed to go to yell at your kids. It's like a law or something. Mama used to load us up when we was kids and drive us to the Wal-Mart in Morrilton to yell at us and then maybe give us a whooping. But since she was there, she might also get her a soft pack of Marlboros. Good times. But there's more than just parents whipping kids' butts in Walmart. There's a few types of people you got a real good chance of seeing when you're there, no matter where you live. Now, this is pretty much Walmart only. It don't apply to Kroger, Target, or especially not a Dillard's. But you might see some of these folks we're going to discuss in a Kmart, a Fred's, and for dang sure in a Dollar General store. But you'll almost always see them at a Walmart. First is Ancient Greeter Man. No, it ain't the Crypt Keeper, but he may be a first cousin. His job is to welcome you to Walmart and direct you to a buggy. Now that buggy has about an 80 to 85% chance of having a wobbly front wheel. Whenever you go into the store and you see this guy, you think, man, this might be the last time you see him breathing. But you've said that for dang near 10 years, and he's still there every day. Now, the next two people you might see at a Walmart are Planet Woman and Satellite Man. This one here is real common. She's clocking in at about 350 to 400 pounds. She's also wearing either cotton shorts that show off a couple of tree trunk legs crisscrossed with varicose veins, or a pair of warm-up breeches that looks like she's got a couple of pigs wrestling in the butt end. She's also wearing an XXXXXXL Tim McGraw Indian Outlaw t-shirt from the 90s. Now, Satellite Man. He's about 119 pounds, soaking wet, with clothes on. He wears a faded Molly Hatchet 1981 Tour t-shirt and a greasy ball cap that usually says something real snappy like, "Yank my doodle, it's a dandy." Satellite Man orbits Planet Woman, and he's there to do whatever she tells him to do. Because if he doesn't, he might get hurt. Now, them by themselves, they're not that bad. They can be kind of loud and obnoxious, but what really gets me about them is they've always got a whole bunch of loud, dirty kids with snot on their face and no shoes and dirty toenails. And she's usually yelling at all of those kids for bothering her, but she ignores them when they're flying around the store like monkeys, kicking people in the knees and cussing out the greeter. Now, the next type of person you might see there is Roadblock Annie. It's not 'cause Annie's a big gal or anything like that, but she's that woman that don't get to one side of the aisle or the other. The one that gets right in the middle and stops. That's Roadblock Annie. She's immune to your stares or to you clearing your throat, and she'll just keep right on ignoring you. You see, she's over 65 years old and thinks she don't have to move for no one. Now, I usually find that I can get Roadblock Annie to move by saying something out loud like, "Man, I bet that one's going to stink." Or, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like to pet my snake?" The next type of people you might see at a Walmart are the junior league talkers. Younger first cousins to Roadblock Annie, except they usually only block your way when they run into each other. Because if you're behind one and hear, "Oh, Stacy, I haven't seen you in ages, blah, 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 blah," you might as well turn and go the other way. Or, if you want to have some fun, just walk up and join in on the conversation. They'll look at one another with their eyebrows raised, but most likely being junior leaguers, they won't be rude enough to ask you how you know them. They'll just assume that you know the other one and keep right on going. By the way, it leads me to my joke about junior leaguers. You know why they don't have group sex? All those thank you notes. Well, we had a sad incident happen here at the trailer park recently. My buddy Topher lives down about 3 doors down in a double wide. He's really well off. He had a little dog named Bojangles, and well, Bojangles got out and ran out on the road and got run over by a logging truck that was coming through. And so Topher picks him up and he runs down the road. He's just in a panic, and he goes to the vet's office. And he comes in there just screaming for help, and the vet comes out and says, "Well, bring him on back here to the exam room. Goodness, man, let's get going." So Topher brings little Bojangles back there, and they put the little dog on the exam table. The vet looks at him and pokes at him a little bit, and he looks at him and says, "Topher, man, I'm sorry, but your dog's dead." Now, Topher's not willing to accept this, man. His mind just can't wrap around it. And so he said, "Nope, Doc," he said, "I need a second opinion on this." So the vet goes into the back room, and he comes out with his cat. And he puts the cat down next to little Bojangles, and the cat starts walking around, sniffing and poking at him, and then he looks up at the vet, and he meows. Vet looks at Topher and says, "I'm sorry, but the cat thinks that your dog is dead too." Topher's not willing to accept this at all still, and so the vet goes back and he brings in this black Labrador retriever, and the lab walks around, sniffs the body, and walks from head to tail, and finally looks at the vet and barks. The vet looks at Topher and says, "I'm sorry, man, but the lab thinks your dog is dead too." Now, Topher finally has to accept the fact that little Bojangles is gone. So he thanks the vet, and he asks how much he owes him. The vet says, $650. Topher says, it floors him. He says, $650 to tell me that my dog is dead? Well, the vet said, "I would have only charged you $50 for my original diagnosis, but the additional $600 was for the CAT scan and lab test." Well, folks, that pretty much wraps up episode 4 of Live from the Trailer Park with Elwood P. Jenkins. Hey, why don't you get in contact with me? I'm over at Facebook. Just look for Elwood P. Jenkins. We even got a new Facebook page for the podcast for Live from the Trailer Park with Elwood P. Jenkins. Just look it up and you'll find it. You can also find us at Patreon.com. Patreon.com is also where you can support the podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can keep us in cheap soda pops and corn chips. Also, you can find us at ElwoodJenkins.com, where we post all the podcasts from here. Or get your favorite podcast app, maybe on the iPhone or something, because we're at iTunes as well. So you can listen to us anytime you want to. Maybe take us to church and play us for your Sunday school class. I'm sure they'd really enjoy it. Until next time, this is Elwood P. Jenkins. Hang loose. Don't wear underwear.